Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, 100% walkthrough on New Game Plus. And of course, if you play a new game, this will still help you the same because the content are the same, except New Game Plus deals more damage and more posture damage when you deflect. Okay, first of all, we're gonna increase our attack power by confronting memory of the corrupted monk. The corrupted monk donned the mask of a fierce guardian deity. Her form was nebulous, appearing as if it's in a dream. Yeah, that means, he actually looks like an apparition, and it's a she apparently. Okay. What reason could it have been for guarding the Mibu village cave entrance? We'll soon find out. Right, so the fact that she only have one life suggests that this what we just thought was not her real body. It's more like a projection or illusion of her, right? And that's what basically that text just now was trying to say. Before we go any further though, which will return to us to a mini point of no return, we're just gonna quickly travel back to here and give sakes to all the characters available to learn their backstory, because after you enter the cave, some of these characters don't receive sake anymore for some reason. So just for completion's sake, we're gonna do it before we enter the cave. Okay, first of all, Lady Emma.
I'm glad you've come.
You give her any guo seed you have. We're just gonna give her okay, let's give all the sakes. Ashina sake.
I brought sake.
Oh my, that is generous of you. I accept. Delicious. As a doctor, I do have other uses for sake beyond just drinking.
For purification?
Yes. It can also help with those with a low tolerance for pain. But when I was a child, I couldn't stand the smell of it.
You've been doing medical work ever since you were a child?
Yes. I wanted to be of use to my mentor, Master Dogen. I used to compete with my fellow disciples to treat patients. In those days, arrow and sword wounds were frightfully common.
I see. What's wrong?
It's nothing. Sometimes, shinobi would come for treatment as well. There was once a rather difficult patient.
Difficult in what way?
Well, he said very little. I didn't know where he was hurt or how much pain he was in. I had no information to go on. It was maddening.
I see.
None of this sounds familiar to you?
What?
No. Nothing at all.
Right, so she's actually making a subtle hint towards Wolf being the difficult patient. Doesn't say anything, don't give her anything to work on. Shinobi, yeah. And yes, she has been trained as a doctor since she was a kid. And just now, previously when we gave sake to Orangutan the Sculptor, he did mention that he picked her off from a battlefield at a very young age, and she was adopted by Dogen, her master, who was also an accomplished doctor and a very handy craftsman who made the shinobi prosthetic too, which was intended originally for Orangutan, right? And so happens that it also fits Wolf. Okay, let's give her unrefined sake.
Here, for you.
Oh my. If this isn't Lord Ishin's favorite sake, I'll have some. Delicious. Please. Say something.
There is something I'd like to ask you.
Of course.
Who trained you to fight with a blade?
A blade? I am a doctor.
Yes, but who?
Lord Ishin. But I only have a passing interest.
I do not believe your skill counts as a mere passing interest. Why did you learn?
Well, not to kill people.
What do you mean?
No. I don't have the slightest desire to kill anyone. It's just... I would want to kill a demon. if one were to appear.
A demon?
Don't take me seriously. It was only a joke.
Right, and this will make more sense later on in the story. Lastly, monkey booze.
Here.
Oh, this is... this is monkey booze.
Something wrong?
Well, let me try it. Oh, it burns so bad. Let's see. Yes, monkeys. I seem to have a strong connection with
She's drunk.
monkeys.
You do?
Yes. I was rescued by a monkey after all. You don't believe me, do you? When I was young, I stood alone in the aftermath of a battlefield. I was alone and staring, dumbfounded. I could do nothing, neither cry nor even get angry. Complete shock. And then there was a monkey eating a rice ball.
A monkey? Maybe an ape?
Maybe. Either way, he made it look so delicious. I remember being angry at that, but then he gave me the rice ball. It tasted so good.
What a kind monkey.
Yes. He was a very kind monkey.
Right, so that might sound like that doesn't make sense.
Master Wolf, it looks as you're...
But,
Goodbye.
previously when we gave sake to Orangutan, the sculptor, he did mention that he picked up Emma as a kid from the battlefield, right? So, yeah, so what she was referring to, the monkey that saved her or raised her, is actually Orangutan, the sculptor. And since his name is actually Orangutan, and if you look at his character model, he's pretty hairy. So it makes sense that she will call him a monkey. Not in a derogative term, of course, probably just because they're very close, and that's what her as a kid always called him by, which is why the name kind of stuck. Okay, time for Ishin to get some sake.
Sekiro, so what of the rumors?
According to the divine child of the inner sanctum, anyone who draws the mortal blade will meet death.
Which means only one such as you can wield it then.
When I drew out the blade and saw its crimson edge, I too died once.
I see. The Crimson Edge. Listen, Sekiro. With the mortal blade, you can now kill the Undying. A truly terrifying weapon, don't you think?
What are you trying to say?
That sword is now yours. Who or what will you kill? You must be sure of the answer before drawing it.
Yep, just like, you got to be sure to point your gun before you point the gun. Don't point your gun at anything you don't want to kill. Okay, let's give him monkey boots.
I have something for you.
Ah, Sekiro. You know me well. Why, this isn't monkey booze. So this is what it's like to breathe fire. Do you know what other name this sake goes by?
I don't.
You don't? They call it Shura's wine. I killed one once, long ago. Shura, or something very much like it.
What is Shura, exactly?
Those who go on killing will eventually become Shura. They don't even remember why. Simply enraptured. They kill solely for the joy it brings them. I see it in your eyes, too. The shadow of Shura. Give me cause, and I will kill you. It would do you well to remember that.
I see.
Right, so he was hinting that he killed the Shura once or something like that, which will also make sense as you learn more backstory. Lastly, Dragon Spring Sake. Let me think. Do I give Dragon Spring Sake to him? I'm actually gonna just save it to for the sculptor. I don't think I have enough. Let me quickly check. How many Dragon Spring sake do I have? Just one. Yeah, I'm actually gonna. I'm more interested in what the Sculptor had to say. I do remember what he said from the previous episode, where he would just say like, whenever he gets his hand on them, then people would all flock to him, and then including Dogen, Emma's Master, the Owl, and everyone. So it's kind of just tells you that everyone used to be friends together a long time ago. And if you give him the Ashina Sake, which I don't have, I guess, on me, he'll talk about, to ask why he had started a revolution, and then he will say, they just wanted the land back from the internal ministry, so they fought for the right of their own land. Okay, orangutan.
You again. I must carve the book you do.
Yeah, you can't really fetch Shinobi tooth. But yeah, just since we're here, let's just quickly Alright, so this is where you need a Pine Raisin Ember. It's for the Okanaga Flame Vent. Yes, I was right. And this is a Malcontent Ring you get from the Shichimen Warrior, where after you defeated the Headless Guardian Ape for the second time.
Could use a cup.
Okay, for some reason I can no longer give him sake. Maybe I already gave him sake. I can't remember. Damn, I must be getting old. Alright. With that done, well actually, yeah, there's no need to go there. We're just gonna quickly check on the Abandoned Dungeons quest. We go to National Car, so Abandoned Dungeon entrance. Alright. Okay, we did get the red carp eye, which is supposed to be something with this NPC. Ah, there you go. It's not here.
Human. Not anymore. Ah, my dear Shinobi.
What's wrong?
It's nothing. For you. From the Master.
Okay, so got a new letter, a tainted blood-covered note written by Dosaku, the surgeon in the abandoned dungeon. At the bottom of the Mibu Pound, you will find a Sakura carp. You will know it from its red eyes, which are said to never rot. I require those red eyes.
We request your assistance once again.
And guess what? We got exactly what you need.
My dear Shinobi, did you...
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Indeed, you have a... With this, the treatment can be advanced. I'm sure the Master will be ecstatic. Even if I am not. Try as I might, I'm unable to muster the same level of enthusiasm.
Dojun, you novice.
Ah, fret not, dear Shinobi. I will perform my duty for the glory of Ashina. Your reward, dear Shinobi. Please accept it with our thanks.
Okay, lump of grave wax, which is useful for high-end prosthetic upgrades.
With this, we can advance, Master. I'll bring it in. With this, Master.
Okay, so he's not gonna do anything if you're here, so just quickly run back and rest at the Sculptor's Idol. And he should be gone. Yeah, and you can eavesdrop again.
Oh, Master Dosaku. What on earth? What? Surely you don't intend to use that on me. Very astute, my apprentice. You are the next subject.
Whoa, that's nasty.
No! As I feared, you have strayed from the path of medicine. Why would you do such a thing? No, Master. The rejuvenating waters have bewitched you. Master, please answer me. Please, answer me, Master. Why? Why would you answer me? Answer me, Susaku! Susaku!
Well, you know what they say? Play with fire and you get burnt. Play with rejuvenating water and, well, you get this. Alright, so after that, it's gonna quickly go to the water. Now that you can dive, we're gonna dive inside, which actually is much lighter than up above. Get some items here. What is it? Does everybody drop coins into water? Ceramic shards. That's not useful. And then you can see a hole here, which we can use to come in. And get to a secret location. Get the loot, jump up. And that's basically inside the cell just now that we were eavesdrop, that we can't go in from the front. And over here you can talk to...
Please, answer me, Master! Why? Why would you answer me? Answer me, Dosaku!
Okay. An old note left by the surgeon Dosaku. My disciple have abandoned me for Dogen. Unwilling to dirty their own hands, they all left me for their hypocritic quack. Dojun, my lost disciple, even if I die, the research must continue. Finish the procedure for Ashna's sake. What?
Please, why?
Okay. You can open the inside, I guess. That's a little confusing. So, he's been talking to an illusion this whole time? But that later suggests that his master Dosaku already died a long time ago. Dojun, yeah, it's a little confusing. Anyway, pacifying agent. There's nothing else.
Please, why?
Yeah, I think the dude probably is seeing illusions. Ah, these poor people. And the samurai guy, don't know where he put him. Poor guy. I do feel sorry for sending him to this fate. Not for the sake of advancing the story. I didn't have a choice. Yeah, she's not here. Alright, that actually wraps up the Abandoned Dungeon side quest. Rest quickly. And let's see, okay, let's just go back and grab this, explore the cave. We should have some more time. Waiting cave door. So now that we gave Sake to the characters and a little bit more of the backstory, we're gonna carry on to the mini point of no return. Going to the wedding cave. Now that's a very interesting name for a cave. So people have weddings in here. We're about to find out. Right, there are no items around here. You're welcome to check around. But last I remember, there are no items to pick up. And this is basically a device that you put the bride into during wedding. So the bride will sit here, and then 4 men or 8 men, depending on how rich the bride's family are, or the groom for that matter, can hire to carry this thing. So the bride is covered up and they get carried all the way to the place that they will have the wedding, which I guess is a cave, which is why it's called the wedding cave. A very peculiar looking thing on the top. Can't even make out what it is, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the game. Alright, so this is the lost key item required to reach the divine round. And once you pick this up, something will happen in the main story and things will never be the same again. So be ready and then pick it up. Shelter Stone. A stone found on an altar deep within the village of the Water Dwellers. Water Dwellers of course refer to the Mibu village. Stone will sometimes appear in the bodies of those who have long drank from the fountainhead water. Step into the marital shrine, and offer the fragrant, auspicious stone, one of the incense ingredients sought by the divine heir for immortal severance. Alright, so shelter stones such as this are an auspicious omen, sweetly scented for a bridal offering. The palanquin awaits with open arms. So the palanquin is that thing there, I guess, and yeah, so this, you can see a bunch of worms on the ground, kind of creepy. And the stone said to grow in the body of people who drank too much water in this village. We can correlate to all these crazy people who, you know, drank too much water and have turned nuts. And I talked about a bridal offering, which makes no sense at the moment, but I'm pretty sure later it will. Alright, now that we got this, it's time to report back to Kuro. Except you discovered that upper tower Kuro's room is grayed out, you can no longer go there. In fact, the entire Ashina castle is grayed out, with the exception of abandoned dungeon entrance. So we're gonna go there. So this is what I meant by the point of no return, because yeah, after you pick up the rock, something in the story happens and all those sculptor idols get grayed out. Alright, with that, we're going to conclude this episode of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. 100% walkthrough on New Game Plus. Hope you enjoy it, and if you do, please subscribe my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitch. And thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Mibu Jinjiro out.